Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us.
Okay, you guys are about to see my neurosis.
Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons.
Okay, so
we can't wait to meet you.
There's literally nothing written on this for my sermon. And if you've ever noticed, I never look at it, but I always have stuff scribbled there. So I don't even have anything and I don't use it, but I have to have it in my hand. And I forgot it back there, so I had to go back and get it. That, y'all, is the definition of neuroses. But if you guys didn't realize that already, here we are. You may or may not have noticed that things are a little bit different this Sunday. Some of our folks are a little less clean-shaven than others. And today, that is because we are celebrating St. Francis of Assisi with our pet blessing service. And I know a lot of churches will do this like Sunday evening, Saturday evening, maybe Sunday afternoon. No, here at St. Anne's, we do it with us here in church on a Sunday morning in the normal service. And I'm going to address that a little bit because here's my belief. My belief is that animals are not just a token thing that we pull out every once in a while to take cute pictures and be like, oh, isn't it cool that the priest took some time to pet animals and take these really cute pictures that we're going to put on our website because, hey, it's adorable. No, our pets are our family. Animals are a part of our creation, just as we are a part of creation. And that's really, really important to me. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today because St. Francis has always been my favorite saint. In fact, some of you know that I went to Roman Catholic schooling. And you're like, well, that explains a lot. But in elementary school, I went to a Roman Catholic elementary school. And I was an Episcopalian the whole time. But my parents were like, hey, let's send her to a Roman Catholic school because that's a good idea. Like a little feminist Episcopal kid in a Roman Catholic school with a bunch of nuns and priests. Yeah, it's exactly what you think it might have been. But anyway, there was one of our many, many services where we had to choose our favorite saint and dress up as our favorite saint. And if you're a little girl, it's some form of Mary. Because it turns out there are multiple forms of Mary. Yeah, there are. Anyway, so you dress up in all of the Mary stuff. But no, I'm me, and my mom had to make a St. Francis costume. God bless that woman. If you know my mother, you know that woman is a saint. But she had to, make a whole monk costume. And I had, all these stuffed animals, and here I am in my monk costume being my St. Francis self. Because, hey, St. Francis is cool. So a little bit of history about St. Francis. St. Francis was a Franciscan, get it? Francis. He started the Franciscan monks. And medieval monk, St. Francis of Assisi, born into a rich family, gave it all up, and goes into monastic life. But what makes Francis really cool and different from everyone else who became a monk at this time, I'm not even kidding you. Everyone becomes a monk. And if you don't become a monk, you become a nun. Because, yeah, that's just what you do. And you get a hairball. Because that's cool in the middle of a sermon. So, and then you go and you get your coffee, which conveniently you brought with you because, yeah, that's how we live. Okay. It's a cool Drury mug, too, because I went to Drury. All right. So, what makes St. Francis really cool is, I'm going to have my coffee while we're talking. What makes St. Francis really, really cool is that he understands the importance of creation. And that's important at this time period because at this time period, similar to perhaps our own, I don't know, but there was this idea that humans are on this plane. God loves us, she says with her coffee mug, because You all know me, and this is how we roll. Humans are up on this plane, and creation, like dirty, nasty, earth-dwelling stuff, like animals and plants and things, they're on this level. And we humans get to use all that dirty, nasty, earth-dwelling stuff to our purposes, because we're better than that, right? Thank you, dinosaurs, for dying and turning into oil. Great. But Francis comes along and he's like, no, that's not true at all. There's not a separation between divine, human, and creation. It's all one. And now that does not mean that humans are nasty, dirty, earth-dwelling, mud-sucking creatures. But that all of it together is God's creation. And in it, it is also divine. I'm going to say that again because it's really, really important. And I could put my coffee mug down, but I'm not going to. No. What is earthly is also divine. What is divine is also creation and earthly. And that's super, super important because we like to trot out these cute little things every once in a while where we're like, oh, isn't it fun that we bring the animals to church? No, because the animals, we are animals. We bring animals to church every Sunday. It's us. Always. All of this is all intertwined into oneness. And that's what St. Francis really, really understood, that this is all intertwined into oneness. It is both divine and messy and chaotic. All of it, all together. And we don't want it to be that way, do we? We want it separate. We want to say, well, when I vote, I'm worried about these things. My day-to-day life, I'm worried about these things. And when I go to church, I'm worried about these things, right? They're all separate. But what we have to learn is that none of it is separate. It's all together in its oneness. Our lives as creation are also our divine lives. And our lives in the world and our political systems are also part of our divine and created lives. Our pets are part of creation. The world around us, part of creation. You and I, part of creation. And there is divinity in that, and there is messiness in that. And all of it is all wrapped up in all this stuff together. So some of you may or may not know I'm a little bit of a hippie. Just a little bit. I mean, not like a whole lot, but a little bit. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, there was a big conversation early in the year because I decided one of the ways that I was creating a lot of waste was shaving my legs. It's true. Now, if I were a really good hippie, I wouldn't shave my legs, but no, that is not happening. So I got this grand idea to use a safety razor. Now, all the women who are over 42 have used a safety razor, correct? There's so many nods right now. They're like, yeah, I've lost a lot of blood to a safety razor. So I decided to switch to a safety razor. And I love it, by the way. I really do. It's zero waste. Everything's recyclable. I really do. It's got an amazing shave. Y'all, I feel like I'm on a big commercial right now. Y'all get yourself a safety razor. I've lost a lot of blood to a safety razor, too. But that's okay. That's all right. I've got plenty. So somebody came to me and they're like, well, you're not really going to do any environment switching to a safety razor as opposed to throwing away your other blades. You're right, I'm not. I'm not saving the world by not using plastic straws. I'm not saving the world by using a safety razor. I'm not saving the world by any of the bizarre, strange things that I do to improve my impact on the planet. But I'm changing me. And I'm making a difference in that because that makes me more consciously aware of the choices I'm making. And that's really important. Because myself, am not necessarily going to save the planet by the stupid little decisions that I make every day. But when I do that, I change my awareness, and I make sure that I remember that I am part of a larger thing, and that is God's creation. So when I choose to not use a plastic straw, am I saving the world? Probably not. When I make sure that I recycle plastic bags or I choose not to use them, am I changing the world? No, I don't know. But I'm changing me, because when I make that choice, I'm more aware of the creation around me. And that's what you and I are called to do. So don't throw it away just because it's not going to necessarily save the planet. No, our every little decision, it may or may not actually save the planet. But it's going to save us. And maybe that's the most important thing, because when we start saving ourselves, spiritually, ethically, day-to-day decisions, we start to impact everything. And that's what we are called to learn from St. Francis, that everything impacts everything. Our decisions are day-to-day moments when we're like, straw? No straw. Safety razor, thing with 5 blades but gets a super close shave, but it's also made of plastic and all this stuff together that you can't throw away. Those are big decisions. And yes, it doesn't necessarily end the big decisions about nuclear versus coal versus, oh, by the way, my husband made me watch a video. It turns out nuclear is like one of our best options. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion another time. Right? Who thought? All these things, because then we start to think about them. And the reason we have our animals in church today is because we need to start thinking differently. Not that they are something that we trot out every once in a while because they're cute, but because they indeed are one of us, and we are one of them. And in all of them, we become closer and stronger to our divine selves when we are together. And that is what we're called to understand today. When we love them, we love ourselves. When we love ourselves, we love God. And it just keeps going around in that circle. And for that, I give thanks to St. Francis and my mother, God bless her soul, who made that monk costume. And I'm taking it with me. We're not leaving nothing behind.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. That it is seen in us.